OBS is being dumb and was not detecting my microphone. I was talking,
Isn't
and
it always?
the same thing happened yesterday, and I switched. Had to switch audio inputs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of Rebirth, a D&D tale. Last we left off, our Lucky Sevens, the band of adventurers that had been going through the Twilight Grove to make it towards the city of Kombe, met an interesting Kenku boy. Man? It's hard to tell. He's fairly young and kind of short in comparison to some of his companions now, but he goes by the name Strings, named after the sound that his lyre makes as he plucks at it. He, upon meeting them, showed them around the city of Kombe, and as they made their way back to the slums where he resides, they found this little hole in the wall bar where they met Strings' mother, Belle. And after getting to know them for a little while, though, there was a disturbance in the nearby graveyard where bodies were lifting themselves out of their graves, and specters and wisps began to float around the populace. The the sort of more combat ready of the civilians in the area were able to fend things off for a little moment, but were no match for the sort of swarm that was happening. And so as a result, our band of adventurers joined in the fray, but have also exhausted themselves as well this early in the afternoon. And so that's where we pick up. It's the same afternoon where Lagon has decidedly mentioned that he is going to go and take a nap. Now, whether or not he's going to get his nap is completely on everyone else, depending on how exhausted they are as well. But the the party is here in the slums of Kombe, in this little bar, after having met with Father Masterson, a local cleric. So, Father Masterson is still in the kitchen helping prepare some lunchtime food, as well as Belle in the back. Her husband is back there with her helping prepare things, and Strings and the rest of the party are here in the front of the tavern, this little four table tavern. So what do you do?
In the previous few minutes, Lagon and myself have been discussing the matter of the undead rising again. For my own personal interests, I intend to do research. Maybe perhaps there's some history with this. And so, I speak with Father Matheson about the nature of this.
And he did let you know previously that it's not a common occurrence, but it's happened enough times in the last several decades that, well, it's not a problem, it's noticeable. And often not to this severity.
So it seems as though that the nature of these risings are increasing. But in of itself, Ghosts are one thing. The reawakened undead is another, and often the result of ill intentions. Father Matheson, you say this has been going on for several decades. At what point did it start? Is there some sort of lore to that?
Oh goodness, it's been since I was a boy, and he's he's an adult furbolg, so he stands rather tall. His his hair is a little bit kind of poofy on the top, with a little bit of receding hairline, but nothing to nothing to signify that he's older than maybe his 30s.
Hmm.
He kind of cocks his head a little bit. It's I can't really say exactly when it has started. It's one of those things that's always kind of been in the background, and I can't say that anyone's really done any digging into the into the into the situation, as most of us are more concerned with our daily lives. It's hard here in the slums.
Even with such a militarized town, not even the guard have taken any note of it.
They've taken reports and taken statements and things of that sort, but once once a body goes walking out of its grave and it's dealt with, it's considered a done matter.
Infestation is not a done matter if you only kill part of the horde.
There have been talks about excavating and exhuming all of the departed and cremating the remains so that they aren't affected by this, but we don't have a crematorium.
I see.
That's reserved for those who can afford such things. In many cases, the recently deceased barely even get a grave.
I
Gravestones
see.
are expensive to carve.
Very well. I appreciate your assistance. I believe at this point it might be within my interest to investigate with the local guard, see where the reports seem to centralize.
So far as I understand, it happens intermittently around the entire city. But in pockets, it's never a large sort of thing. At least it wasn't. Until today.
I believe that the death of 3 civilians warrants greater investigations.
I appreciate your
Oh,
enthusiasm, and I appreciate your willingness to investigate. But I can tell you this right now. It's probably going to get overlooked.
Ruin looks to the rest of the party. Father Matheson, if I might introduce. We're known as the Lucky Sevens. At least that is what we call ourselves.
But there are 6 of you.
Yes.
And just
No, there's just 5. I'm
a little
not
off
part
to
of
the
this group
distance,
yet.
Zephyr will just bark.
6. Oh, I would be
Alright,
7.
7.
I get it.
All right, lucky sevens.
We're a company. We work together for different jobs and, as of late, mercenary work.
Mercenary.
Generally. However, we often take tasks upon our own accord. With our recent involvement in this matter, I suppose I would be interested in bringing us into it for further investigation. You need not worry yourself about any specific payments. We'll work with the city going forward.
All right. I don't understand what this has anything to do with you.
Rune looks at Lagan.
It's because they're heroic adventurers. Heroic adventurers always go do things that are heroic.
Lagan is not there.
Oh.
He's actually gone straight to bed.
Lagan said he didn't even care about lunch or whatever. He went, got up, left the table after the conversation, and has gone to sleep.
Then Rune will just outright say,
But he did tell everyone that this was something that he would be looking into because of Melora, and he did tell Father Matheson his suspicions before he went to bed that because the animated dead are coming back, there has to be some kind of necromancer or necromantic force that is involved.
As my compatriot Lagan has stated, it is within his interests to be involved in this matter. I support his involvement, as it's also within my interests to understand it. We have our different reasons. But
Some have even speculated that it's a bad omen. That with the death of the prince, perhaps there's some kind of bad omen going.
I heard about that recent political affair. Was the prince well liked?
Certainly. He was sort of the pride and joy of his father, King Rojas. And now that King Rojas is well into his years, there's no chance that he'd be able to produce an heir. And he's an elf well into his years.
See.
So now there is no prince. There's no hope. The only thing we can hope for is that the next successor to the king is just and fair. Like our Lord Kaiji.
Can I insight check that?
You may.
I don't have the best insight, but he sounded like he was like Lord Kaiji ... Okay. So that's just a flat 14.
You can. The hesitance that you heard seemed to have been, well, not necessarily on purpose, with some reluctance.
He doesn't fully believe what he's saying.
No, not fully.
Hmm.
That much you can assume.
Rune's eyes kind of adjust scrupulously. He doesn't necessarily respond to that, but that said, Father Matheson, if you could kindly, as you are a priest, religious figure, I believe if my understanding of matters of the undead and necromancy are as straightforward as I've understood them before, your powers and beliefs might be adversarial or antithesis to any structures of necromancy.
It is my strong belief that the soul was created by the forger Moradin, and to him should return.
Rune nods. If I might ask for your cooperation in any matters regarding information, or perhaps if you would also be able to assist us in supplies at any given point. We will not ask for much, and nothing out of your reach. In fact, we would prefer that you remain within safety.
And in that particular case, I wouldn't be able to offer much. I could offer shelter, but that's really all I can do. As the one room for this little tavern isn't nearly big enough for 7.
If I might, I would like to take up your offer for shelter. It will not be without worthy time, and Rune will pull out about 5 gold.
My word, this is generous.
I'm uncertain of how
I
long
found
we
them
will
in
be
Richtown.
in the city.
In Richtown.
Mm-hmm.
Rich is definitely a word I would give to 5 gold.
Ares is just flipping the flat coin in between his fingers.
And Father Masterson definitely sees where you're doing that. Indeed. Flashy individuals, indeed.
Consider it compensation for the shelter you will be providing for now. Or a donation to the church, however you see fit.
It is much appreciated. I will make preparations, actually, if you all are going to be staying with us the night. I must tend to the bunks.
Thank you. Cooperation is very much appreciated.
If you can get to the bottom of this, you would be doing this city a great service. As the disturbing the dead from their graves, like grave digging and things, is bound to happen when those who claim to the possessions inside walk away, as it were.
It's definitely distressing. I should hope that we can. And at that, Rune will also get up at the same time Father Matheson does. He holds out his hand for a handshake, actually.
And Father Masterson goes to take your hand. He's a rather tall individual. He's probably somewhere around 7.5 feet tall, probably close to Lagon's height.
So Ern's like, eh.
Probably has a meaty hand that about swallows yours, given his size. He's a rather plain looking individual though, as the robes that he's wearing are not very ornate at all. They just have a simple symbol.
Giant kin, man. It be those giant kin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I guess at that, Rune turns to the rest of the party. Once Father Matheson leaves.
Yep, he exits out the door, kind of ducking under it a little bit because it is a rather kind of short doorway. He makes his way out of this little tavern and closes the door behind him, kind of walking with other monks as you see him going by.
And Rune will specifically go up to Strings.
Hi.
Hello. I thank you for your assistance earlier. We would be most likely in a much more dire circumstance if not for your help.
Yeah, he's holding his little notebook. Do you have a minute?
I do.
From a land unknown, an armored metal drone. The metal man will fight with wings glowing bright. See the metal man come, his gears grind, turn and hum. The yellow of his eyes aglow, his wrench will crush those below. White wings of the metal man rune, glowing with the light of the moon. I wrote that for you.
Rune, he stands still for a moment, and then he pulls out his own journal. If I might, could I copy it into my own notes?
Yeah. He just kind of flips his journal and sets it on top of yours.
Rune will quickly scurry down the notes. You have a talent.
Thank you. I try very hard. I'm going to be great musician, great bard. Tell lots of poems and stories.
And you hear
your performances.
And you hear your mother say from the other room, Strings, if you can get into college.
Maybe, hopefully, I will. You know, once I write a bunch of good poems, I can submit it, and then off to college with me.
Higher education is a worthy pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
Once Rune is completed, with also rewriting the poem, he closes his own journal, gently hands back Strings' journal. I have to ask a favor of you once more.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to show us around the city?
Sure. Maybe we can get it in a rich town this time, and then you guys can go to the Silver Ring and bet some money and win some money. And I can perform and get some money.
I'm sure many of our crowd troop would enjoy that. But I'm also interested in speaking with the local guard and militia. Do you know where the barracks are? Or at least a barrack captain?
Yeah, I know.
We've run into them several times before.
I might have spent a night Well, not a night. It was more of a few hours. That's another story for another time.
You were going to say something,
If we're
Kinwin?
going around town, I would like to buy a slam.
Cool. So, yeah, Mirren will look at the rest of the party. If anyone would be interested in joining.
Of course.
Let's go.
To purchase some things.
Well,
Did,
you
someone wake
guys
up
should
the
probably
guy?
tell Lagon, because he took a nap.
And Darius. Fringar, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Darius a higher charisma kind of rogue, or
Not really. He's a Dexy rogue.
Dexy rogue?
Yeah.
Who has good charisma within our group?
Strings.
Strings. Alright.
I mean, I have decent charisma, but
Bard makes sense.
yeah.
Dark Wolf, I'm gonna rely on you for a lot of the conversation and persuasion checks.
I will just state that I'm a eloquence bard, so I cannot roll lower than 18 on persuasion or deception.
Alright, yeah, we're gonna leave that up to you.
It's very similar to reliable talent in that way.
The damn silver tongue.
Yep.
Yep.
So long as Strings has the vocabulary, he can tell you just about anything and you'll believe it.
Oh yeah, we can totally work on that vocabulary. Corrupting string.
It's already a very corrupt blue kenku. But are you going to?
I don't think Strings has said any curse words as of yet.
Nope, not as of yet.
Oh, he'll learn a few.
So are
there's
you?
some colorful vocabulary you can add to him.
Are you going to inform Lagon, or are you just going to leave him to take his nap?
Can Darius get him up?
We can leave a note.
Sorry.
Lagon, do you wake up when Darius comes into your room to leave a note, yay or nay?
I don't know.
Well, you
Do I
can
wake up?
roll a perception at disadvantage.
Okay.
I feel like it should be stealth versus the passive, because he's sleeping.
And Darius, you can roll a stealth if you're looking to be stealthy.
At disadvantage?
Mm-hmm.
Both rolls are 15. You said perception, so 21.
Okay.
4.
Oh. They have perfected this game. Between the two of them, they have perfected this game to a degree. Darius is very easily tiptoes into the room, leaves the note, and walks out without disturbing the very light sleeping Lagon.
I slide it like right under the pillow.
Because you're just
No.
you're that
Yeah,
ballsy.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. So, Darius leaves the note. Lagon, you are sound asleep. And the rest of you can go out into town if you would like. Kinwin wants to pick up a sling that will be for the price that you see it in the player's handbook. So if you want to go ahead and make a note of that, you can.
Yeah, slinging 40 bullets, which should be 1 silver, 8 copper.
All right, and then go ahead and spend that money. And I'm even going to say that it is dusty and kind of rocky enough that you are going to easily be able to replenish stones and bullets and things. So it is very easy to come by when it comes to replenishing your bullets. So unless we get to a point where you're having to like finally dust sand like out in the desert, you're probably going to have to be a little bit more careful about your about spending those, but you'll be able to readily find whatever you need here in the city without spending any additional money. So you'll be able to do that should you spend any bullets from your sling. Who else was doing what?
I mean, yeah, I think we were going to town.
Yeah.
Okay, so making your way towards the gate to the rich town, as it were, the upper districts of the city. And there are some towering places in this city. You know, a lot of it is kind of built into a large rock formation, kind of in and surrounding this this rock formation. And so, getting up to the gates that there's several gates to lead up to the upper sections, and the one that's most readily available is only a short walk away. And when you approach it, there are a couple of Aarakocra guards that are standing in the in the guard position. They have very very kind of shiny armor on, the symbol of the eagle, and kind of pinning like different ranking emblems on their breastplates. You know that these because just by looking at them, these are, you know, ordinary guards. They're not anybody of any significant rank. But they kind of look at all of you and kind of stand a little taller than they were previously, and kind of look at all of you, and each one of them each of these two stands probably around 6 feet tall. Their wings kind of folded very very neatly on their back. Kind of you know, the end feathers kind of dragging the ground a little bit. But they kind of they have a spear and shield in each hand for each of them, and they kind of stand imposingly, blocking your way. Can I help you? One of them says.
Yes. I am guiding these fine rich folk around. They wanted to go to the Silver Ring and participate and or bet.
Go to the Silver Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a little costly for you, Flightless?
Oh, I'm just guiding them. I'm just the guide.
Rune will pull out about 2 gold. He'll flash them.
I'm still rolling the platinum between my fingers.
Okay. Darius and Rune both make me a deception check.
Asking me for a deception. Whoa! Yay! I'm complaining about it, and then it turns out okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a flat 19.
How much?
19.
19.
24 with a natural 20.
Wah! Wah!
Nice.
Okay.
That platinum is shit. shiny.
That platinum
We
is
look rich.
that platinum is
We
definitely
rollin'.
shimmering in the sunlight. Just the
Ding.
the very tall afternoon sunlight that kind of just beams down on all of this kind of reddish sand around you. Uh, the the one guard who's speaking to you kind of catches the glint of that platinum in your hand, and kind of eyes it. I might be convinced. Kind of eyeballing that platinum that's in Darius's hand.
In my hand is where it will stay.
Now you're not trying to get anything out of these nice, fine, rich tourists, are you?
They're the ones offering.
I didn't hear an offer. They simply want to go to the Silver Ring, which I'm sure the boss of the Silver Ring would be very upset if they found out that they lost such potential customers.
Such a weird statement to make as someone who has no stakes in the Silver Ring.
I mean, I've been there a few times. I know the owner. I've performed there.
In fact, I remember you. You're the kid that got booted out once, didn't you?
That was once. I had an argument with one of the contestants, but water under the bridge.
Like I said, I could be convinced. Kind of looking over at his partner too.
I'll barter 3
Well.
gold each.
All right, I can make it happen. He goes to this this machine that kind of because this gate is somewhere around like 20 feet tall. He goes to this sort of outcropping in the wall and cranks a machine, and the machine kind of slowly opens the sort of metal gate, and so wide enough for you all to get through. And he'll hold his hand out for the gold.
Rune will hand out the 6 gold, 3 each per guard.
As a note, do the guards have anything identifying on them?
By identifying, what are you asking?
Something that either says like what part of the guard they're in, or a name, or something.
They don't really have
something that he would recognize.
They don't really have name tags. They just have kind of rank insignia, kind of pinned to the sort of eagle's head emblems. And you, having interacted with a number of guards in this city before, would know that this is a fairly lower ranking. So there may be low, like maybe just above the totem pole when it compared to you, but
basically, I'm going to make a quick note in my journal to tattle on them later.
Okay.
Just be like, hey, I saw the guards from the East Gate taking bribes.
Okay, noted. Make a note for that.
Yep.
All right. So you're able to get in, the 5 of you, and of course Zephyr, because he's following behind very loyally. And So the gate closes behind you, and then the guard says, "You get in trouble? It's on you."
Of course. Thank you.
Get out of here.
Will do. And Strings proceeds to lead them on.
All right. And the silver ring is not very far. Is there anything else you guys are going to be doing besides the silver ring?
Rune's gonna be making a point to go check out the I guess like the barracks or the town militia area.
Okay.
Basically wherever he can find like a town guard captain.
Mm-hmm.
To sort of get like like some of those reports and history on things.
Okay. So with Strings' help, you're able to find where that is. Make me a persuasion check to see how forthcoming that they're going to be with you.
Okay.
Can I assist?
Yes. So Rune, do it at advantage.
Okay. So 18 was the higher roll.
Okay. The guard captain is reluctant, but given that you both have shown genuine interest in assisting and really helping the situation, this particular captain seems to be a bit more perturbed than other captains that you've encountered in the past, Strings. He seems to be more genuinely concerned about the goings on when it comes to the unrest of the graveyards, and so he kind of looks to you all and says, "I really can't put you on the payroll of the city per se, but if you were to come back with some credible information that I could actually take to my superiors and actually get them to look into this information and get them to look into this issue, absolutely you will have you would be doing the city a great service, and I would reward you."
With
Yeah,
your
we
cooperation.
might be able to find something.
We'll see what we can do. My initial interest is to understand the nature of this. Research what I can.
Well,
I have a few questions, if you're willing to help me.
if you're genuinely looking to help this city with this matter, absolutely.
Yes, sir. And Ruin has a couple questions. When was the first report of the dead rising, and what were the rumors associated with it at the time? And kind of like a news report or such.
Oops. I'm rolling his history check. He says the reports go back a couple of decades, but that's before I even came on to the guard myself. It's been going on for a little while. You know, random occurrences. Nothing big. Nothing terribly large in scale. It's. Are you all right, Mojo?
Yes, sorry.
But just kind of. But the reports and rumors that I've heard from the slums as of yesterday, so many. And the wisps, they were so dangerous. And I'm genuinely concerned that this is going to happen again rather soon, and I don't want that to happen to our people.
I would have to agree. To my understanding, about 3 died earlier today as a result of this infestation.
Oh, goodness.
Understandably, I would also like to thwart any further events. But the frequency, is there some sort of pattern to it, do you notice? And does this only occur within the slums?
It occurs sporadically throughout the entire city where there are graveyards. Most of the graveyards that are more or less unkempt are in the slums, where precautions to ward against this kind of thing is something that others who might be able to accommodate for it
Where
might.
the dead are not burned or buried.
Right. Pits and things. When you have epidemics like what happens with disease, like piles and piles of people can only do so much.
Where are these pits usually centralized?
The outskirts of the slums.
I see. Rune will kind of like make a general note. He hasn't got a map for this area just yet, for the city just yet, but
That's fine. You have a tour guide.
that's true.
Yep, you do. So it's not going to be hard to find any of these places.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that people speculate, all over the city is this is some kind of bad omen. I'm not superstitious myself, but it's got me questioning. I'm usually not very religious either.
I can understand how it could be viewed as bad omen. One thing that we have noted, while ghosts are a common occurrence of undeath that one might see as a result of the dead not being buried or consecrated properly, the other event that we wanted to note were zombies. The rotting.
Corpses.
Correct. This is a different type of power, one not naturally associated, but more so as a direct result of a magic, or workings of which. We are led to believe that there might be some necromantic powers at work. Which leads to my next question. Are there any individuals in town associated with magic, such as a college or a city mage?
Well, there's obviously the Bard College in the upper districts. There's magic that comes in from all of the different businesses. So, the Paragon Arcade and Power Company, I think it's called, from across the sea.
Right.
Lots of magic implemented in some of their goings on when it comes to, even tools. They imbue magic into. How silly.
But no specific reports of suspicious individuals.
Not that I'm aware of at the moment.
Understood.
But that's got me interested in looking more, for sure. Maybe asking questions of the bard instructors or the different magic shops owners, or the item shop owners might know more. I don't know. The Bard College is a distinct possibility, but I don't know that necromancy is something that they often practice. It's considered, uncouth.
A taboo.
It's not in the pamphlet.
No, certainly not. Not in their advertising material at all.
Understood. And I suppose at this point we have a few places we'll be investigating. I've marked approximately, 3 specific spots I'd be interested in. I will be checking out the death pits outside the slums, some graveyards that we've come across, as well as investigating with the professors at the Bard College. If you can assist us by keeping an eye out for any suspicious figures or further reports of undead activity, it would be appreciated.
Absolutely.
What is your name, by the way?
Oh, I'm Julian.
Captain Julian?
Yes.
Bryn puts out his hand, shakes Captain Julian's hand. Well met. My name is Rue. We call ourselves the Lucky Sevens. We're an adventuring company.
Pleasure to meet you, Lucky Sevens.
Pleasure to be working with you. We will be back shortly.
All right.
Before we head out, Strings will stop and say, "Oh, um, since you're captain, you're probably the person to tell. There were some guards that I overheard taking bribes. Uh, they were pretty low rank, but and he'll mimic their voices saying, I can be convinced. And I'm pretty sure they took a few pieces of gold. You might want to give them a pat down when they return. Just saying. That's not up to me though. Thank you. Bye."
You are a strange bird.
You wouldn't be the first to tell me that.
As they're walking out, Vanya's just gonna reach over and just Strings a little bit of a head pat.
Well, keep that in mind, little one. But what do you do next?
Rooney's gonna check in with the party before we begin further investigations. Since we were in the higher, parts of the city, if there's anything we want to accomplish while here, I will be supporting the rest of you.
Well, if you guys actually wanted to do the Silver Ring, that's not too far from here. I know where the college is, and I know where some of the magic shops in this area are, so I can lead you to either of those. I would say probably check out the slums later, or the graves later, because then we'd have to cross back over, and then we'd have to come back, and that's just a lot of runaround.
Precisely why I'm suggesting we accomplish whatever else we need here now.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys want to do?
How many guards are around? Like, just in the general area?
At the barracks?
We're like right outside the barracks.
No, okay, so like not near the barracks. Let's get to where more of the rich people are.
There's a number that are always kind of in the streets, kind of patrolling around. Most of them are Genasi or Aarakocra. You see one kind of burly, sort of very kind of green-skinned looking fella. Maybe an orc.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna do it here. I want to wait till we're like I'm around more rich people.
But this is kind of a middling district that you're in right now. It's kind of a shops and sites and um, sort of kind of a middler sort of style homes and things like that. Primarily. But primarily a lot of like shops and workplaces and a lot of people selling things. You see barkers on the outsides of their shops that are just trying to grab to grab customers. You see that there is a rather large sort of central central portion of the city where there's a lot of stalls and kind of knick-knack sellers and kind of like a sort of fair that's going on, but it looks like it's kind of one of those that goes on every day. It's a rather large market that sells a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. You have food stalls, you have knickknacks, you have random bits of this and that are maybe like animals, like scavenged animals sort of parts and things like that. There's a person kind of standing near a stall that's looking to to draw people in. He's kind of a sort of light and gray skinned tiefling with a broken horn and a spade tail. He's kind of looking at your group actually, and kind of looks you all over and says, "You look like a hardy band of adventurers."
I've been called worse.
These are the Lucky Sevens. They're traveling adventurers.
But there are 6 people.
Again.
Exactly.
Zephyr barks.
Wait, hang on. Vanya?
Well, one of them's...
Vanya's just gonna tilt her head a little bit, studying. Wait, no. What the hell are you doing here?
The hell are you doing here?
I'm traveling with this lot.
Well, obviously.
Hell, Karthus.
Damn. You haven't aged a day.
Oh. I could say the same about you.
I look like I'm in my 60s. You look like you're still 23.
It's over 100 now.
Jesus Christ.
That's the thing about elves.
That's the thing about elves, I guess.
That's the thing about elves.
Damn.
What are you doing here? Places.
Looking for adventurers. Just... Well, I've, kind of got settled into a guild.
You. A guild.
Yes, me, a guild. Who knew?
Never imagined. Considering, all those stories you used to tell me about traveling alone. Came over to Hazelmire and then taught me a little bit. You set off alone again. In a guild. Who would have thought it?
Well, not really alone. There was the dwarf woman. What was her name? I forget. My memory has gone complete to shit these days.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
How have you been?
How many times did I hit you in the head?
He kind of like looks away. It kind of blushes a little bit. We'll just leave it at that. But how have you been?
Been good. Aside from a couple things here and there, but things have been going good. What about you?
Things are actually good. There's a lot of ways to make money in a sort of monster hunters guild.
Imagine so. Actually been kind of looking for a way to money ourselves.
Wow, that's
Now-
that's wow. Never thought I'd run into you here. This is the least of all places.
I never thought I'd see you again after Hazelmeyer.
I'm sorry about that.
Me-
I didn't mean to just kind of run off on you.
No, it's fine. It's small town, I understand. You know, being out in the middle of the forest like it is.
Which,
You and your desert.
yeah, it wasn't really my speed. You know, it was hot and wet. And
Kind of owlbear bears to deal with.
ugh, those creatures are disgusting.
Still never really properly thanked you for saving me from that one.
I told you, you don't have to worry about that. You had promise. And you were handling yourself fairly well until it kind of got you in your ankle and kind of really kind of crippled you for a hot minute.
I don't think, wielding a recently fallen branch is really handling it.
But you were resourceful, and I think that was the important part. That's what I
You'd say
saw in
so.
you. Where are my manners? Who are the rest of your people?
Big metal man here is Rune. This is Kinwin, Arius. Our new friend here is Strings, and we have one more back at the place we're staying at named Lagan. Tall guy, can't miss him.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Guys, this is an old friend of mine, Karthus. He's the one who taught me what I know about being a beast hunter.
Pleasure. A very eclectic looking group.
We are. It's more fun that way. We did have a tabaxi traveling with us for a little bit. But decided to go off on his own way.
Yeah, it is rather strange being in a place that's predominantly beast folk. But it's been nice. The weather's nice.
Better get used to it.
Weather reminds me a lot of Anslandia.
Much sand for my liking, but it'll grow on me.
Well, there's more where that came from. Out that way. And he kind of points in the general direction of the desert.
Yeah, we're about to find that out sometime soonish, I guess. We had a job to go out there at some point.
Oh, Well, you going soon?
I don't know. It depends on what everyone else is wanting to do.
'Cause I have been looking for some things out there. Maybe you guys
Really?
can grab them for me.
Like what, per se?
Sandog hides.
She's just gonna look at Rune like, well, what do you say?
What is your pricing?
For each sandog hide you bring me, 100 gold. They're big. They're more or less hides and more carapaces. They're kind of a mixture between what you think of when you think of a bug and a sort of, well, dog, wolf sort of thing. They are big and they burrow in the sand. Some
Like
people
we need
call
to get
them
Lagan for that one.
some people call them bullets. They're always called sand dogs in Atlantia. I don't know what the fuck they mean.
I find these terms acceptable.
They're kind of the hides are kind of big and bulky, and so you're gonna maybe want to, I don't know, have something to carry them in.
I'm sure we can work something out.
Ooh, actually, you know what? I have the perfect thing. And he kind of goes behind his booth and pulls kind of a small sack that's kind of got a wide top. But it looks like it's very shallow. And he kind of hands it to you, Vanya. Stick them in this.
Are you sure they'll fit?
This thing, there's more room in it than you actually know. It's bigger on the inside.
Trust your word. You haven't really lied to me yet.
You can probably fit 5 or 6 in there.
5 or 6 in this thing.
Yes.
Okay, now I know you're lying.
Trust me. Who around here's got like a spear or something long? Your staff. He kind of points to you, Kinwin. Watch. And he opens up the bag, kind of holds it open, and sticks the staff in. You see that it disappears into the bag, and you don't see any holes or rips or anything else. And he kind of hands you the bag and says, light as a feather.
What kind of fuckery is this?
It's a Paragon invention. I don't know. It's called a handy haversack.
I've heard of
Surely
them. I call them holding bags.
They could have
Easy-
come up
easy
with
one.
a better name than that.
Holding bags.
Well, it's a haversack, and it's handy.
I think I like Strings'
Oh,
idea more.
artist bags.
Alright, so you've proven your point.
And he definitely does hand you the bag back. You can reach your hand in, think about that staff, and it'll come back out.
And that's exactly what she's going to do, much to her amazement. She'll hand the staff back to Kinwin.
Thank you.
That's a nifty little thing.
And an added benefit is this particular one keeps things like hides and raw meat and things like that actually rather well preserved.
Oh no, that's interesting.
Not all
perfectly
haversacks
useful.
do that, but this one
Yeah.
does.
Obviously.
And when you kind of reached in, you'd notice that it was rather cold on the inside.
Might be good to try and jump in there ourselves if it gets too hot out there. Yeesh.
Ugh,
A cold
no,
holder bag.
don't do that because there's actually no air in there.
Yeah,
I
could
have
work
heard
it out.
I have heard of deaths actually happening as a result of certain things. Yeah,
People
don't.
are actually that dumb to try that. You know
Well,
what? That doesn't surprise me.
well, when you're okay, when you have friends who have those sort of ties, where they're very much oh, what's the word? Illicit in their materials. Um, the they have stuffed a living prisoner inside, and when they pulled him out, he was dead. So don't do that.
No.
Maybe you shouldn't bag people. That
I
just
was
seems
only
cruel.
joking. To know people actually tried that. Just
People
again, I'm not surprised.
people are weird. But yeah, we should actually get a drink sometime, Vanya. I'd like to catch up.
Or so would I.
Did get to know all of you if you like.
Really an interesting group. You might like Lagan, actually. I
Huh.
can hold his alcohol. Fun
Vanya,
drunk.
Vanya, are you challenging me?
Yes, I am.
Are you challenging me to drink this guy under the table?
Yes, I am.
Dark Wolf, what is Bell's Tavern's name?
I don't know that offhand. Coffee made that up.
Oh, there is an echo again. There we go.
Is it me?
No. I didn't know who it was, but it's been fixed.
Yeah, I keep unmuting it whenever I come into the video room.
That's fine. All right, but the name of the tavern, it doesn't really have a name, Strengths, because it's just this little local hole in the wall that's never really been named. Everybody just calls it Bell's Place.
Yeah. So is Rune asking Strings this? Or was this just offhand?
Yeah, Rune's asking this. What is the
We
name?
haven't named it yet. Most people call Bell's Place, but we haven't had a chance to etch the sign, so we haven't named it yet.
Because that costs money.
Well, if you wish to meet us, we will be at that location. If you have a map, I can mark it for you.
I've been in the city long enough. I think I can find my way. Been living here for the better part of 30 years.
It's quite a while.
Yeah, you can get used to it. It's different, but you get used to it. All right. Well then, yeah. We'll catch up then.
Well met. Carthus, correct?
Yeah.
Pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure
If you wish
meeting
to
you.
see us. If you wish to see us, we'll likely be at that tavern later tonight.
Rune, right?
Correct.
He kind of gives you an eye on both sides. That's interesting armor.
I've been told it's old.
Isn't it kind of weird to be wearing your helmet, though?
You see, he sees Rune's eyes adjust, like, and he comes up to his head and lifts it up, and his whole top comes off. Inside, there's clearly something inside the metal there, but the whole head comes off, the whole helmet. Nothing underneath. It's just like flat and then inside.
Okay, what did I miss after, dagger?
Rune took off his helmet.
Oh. Damn, I missed it.
Okay. An automaton, then.
He holds his head beneath his arm. Correct. Something like
That just looks spooky. Like something out of a spooky kid's story. You ever hear the one about the headless horseman?
You see Strings furiously scribbling.
Vanya's
He's
trying to
taking
tilt her head as
notes
she
for a
looks
new
like-
poem.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen you actually take that thing off. Interesting.
I've always liked the one about the horseless headsman myself.
within the armor, there is a spinal structure that seems to adjust mechanically. And it kind of like pops up over the top of the armor and then back in. And he takes the helmet and puts it back on.
Huh.
Where in
Interesting.
the world did you find this?
We technically found each other. And she's going to recount the story of, over in Seameat. What had happened.
So you don't require commands to function?
No. I am
Wow.
autonomous, I suppose is the word for it.
Yeah, that's the word. Wow. He kind of reaches up and scratches a little bit of his kind of short white hair. Kind of adjusts his glasses a little bit. Wow. I'm no mechanic, but that's something else.
Parlor trick. One I don't do all.
I've never seen a Jack do that.
Well, I don't think he's really a jack. We don't really know what he is, to be honest.
Huh. Odd. Well, I have some things to finish up here, and then I'll meet you guys over at you said it was Bell's place. I'm pretty sure I've heard of that one. And
Strings can give him some more direct directions.
oh, okay, yeah. I've been to that section of town. That's actually a rather quiet part of the town. Okay. Yeah, I'll meet you there later tonight.
Yeah, well, we'll see you there. This is gonna be entertaining.
It's definitely very good to see you, Vanya.
It's good to see you.
If you head back to, the Empire, tell your mom and dad I said hello.
I'll mention it to them in a note next time I send them one. I have no plans of going back, at least for another year or so.
All right. Well, I guess I'll catch you later then.
Yeah.
And he goes to go talking with another individual who's kind of perusing through this market.
Rune walks in stride with Vanya. And he's quiet for a moment, for a little bit. It's almost like this awkward silence before he finally speaks up. If you don't mind, at some point I would be interested in hearing about your tales with Carthus.
Of course. There's not too many. More like, for the first little bit of him teaching me getting into trouble and him having to save me from it, but I was very ambitious back then.
Vision is not a bad thing.
Strings is gonna say this to Darius, but not trying to keep too quiet. I think Metal Man is jealous of the ex-boyfriend.
Yup.
Hey, does Vanya hear this?
He wasn't keeping too quiet.
He wasn't
so-
keeping very quiet. He was
Okay.
actually saying it with a regular tone of voice and not being secret at all.
She is actually going to get a little red, but turn and say, not boyfriend, teacher. And then she's going to
That's what they're
continue
calling
walking.
it nowadays. Okay, got it. Teacher.
Rune will flash Darius a look, and it's terrifying because he just swivels his head all the way around first.
Straight
For it?
owl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow.
Straight out.
Owl mode activate.
Strings hides behind his notebook. I didn't say anything.
Vanya's going to look down at Zephyr, make a motion with her head, and next thing Darius knows, he's getting a nip on the ass.
Like right there at the base of your tail. Yep.
Nothing that'll actually like cause a wound.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a nip.
I like start playing with him a little bit with the tail and then like try and bop him on the head.
And he's gonna catch it.
Okay, then I think this is going to be opposing rolls. It's going to be opposing athletics checks. Zephyr, Zephyr, and Darius.
Usually dogs catch their own tails.
Nat 20.
Oh, 19.
Yep, natural 20 on Zephyr's part. Yep, he definitely catches your tail as you're trying to as you're trying to bop him, and
Just hear a crunch like a carrot.
like a little bites a little too hard. So you're gonna take 1 point of 1 point of damage.
Yep, no, I'm done.
He
Yes,
really
just
messed.
hear behind us.
He took a little bit of hair off the tuft to your tail too.
Man, I've been working so hard at that too. Remember,
That's the thing that stung. Is it pulled hairs?
just remember, payback's your mom.
Uh-huh. And if Rune can just see Vanya, she's just got this grin. She knows exactly what happened.
And Zephyr starts weaving through the legs of other people too. And he's kind of big. He's a big wolf boy. So it's not he nearly throws Darius off balance by weaving through his legs after that playful bite. And so then he runs back up to your side, Vanya.
And he gets a head scritch.
He's pretty proud of himself.
little bit of purple fur coming out of his mouth.
That's a good boy.
All right. So where to next?
I don't know about everyone else, but Rune is probably gonna check in with Lagan
Yeah.
All right.
because I did
Yeah.
actually get some pertinent info.
All right.
Yeah.
So heading back to
And
Bell's
a
place.
lead on a decent amount of gold.
All right. So heading back to
Oh,
Bell's
we're-
place.
As
Are we
we're
not going to
heading,
check out more in the rich
No.
town before?
It's up to you guys.
I mean, I just kind of want to find some easy marks and try and make some money
Pickpocket.
on the way back. Yeah.
Okay. Make me a stealth check.
22.
Okay. And now your sleight of hand.
24.
Okay. And high or low?
Low.
All right. You successfully get 3 gold. And a couple coppers, like 2 coppers.
Well, good. That bumps me up to the next 180. All right. Cool beans.
All right. You have successfully stolen some money.
I made money. Thank you.
Made money illegally.
Hardest
matter
worker
how.
on the team. Hardest
Doesn't matter.
worker on the team.
All right. So with that, you all are heading back to Bell's place. All right.
While we're walking back, I want to catch up to Rune, and so when like you're working on things the next time, can you make me something?
Another request.
Yes, I'll pay for it.
What are you thinking?
So in my head, and I start describing, essentially, I want like almost what would be like a sling for my crossbow. So like essentially while I'm holding it, I can use it, but then if I just needed to drop it, it's not dropping to the ground, it's just it catches. It's almost like a belt that would just go around and then attach to either side.
Okay. Yeah, you'd figure that's easy enough. Leather working.
Yeah. You can do that. Rune, he nods. I'll begin drawing the schematics tonight.
Sounds good. I'll go ahead and give you 2 gold just because I feel like it.
Okay. I'm not gonna
Labor.
complain.
Labor, man.
And as you're
Acceptable.
kind of going through things, you do see the different you do see like leatherworking shops where you can pick up the materials for that, like buckles and clips, and other things you might sundry need for that at the cost of a silver. So that so that's all
Yeah.
something that you have, and you have leatherworking tools already.
Not leatherworking tools, no. I have, let me see. What do I have? I have smith's tools.
Smith's
Doesn't-
tools. It's not gonna cut it. You would need to be able to You would need to be able to cut the strips of leather, and be able to sew them together. So you would need like leather needles. You would need leather scissors. You would need the leather working tools to be able to cut the leather to shape.
All right. How much would that end up being?
Leather working tools, I think, are 25 gold.
Doesn't Artificer have something like right tool for the job or something? Isn't that a class feature?
Yes, it is.
Oh, what does that do?
I can materialize the tools I need.
Oh. Okay. So you don't need your leatherworking tools. You can just make the tool set you have into leatherworking tools temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have your right
One
tools.
One last request. Can you like emboss into the leather just the letters HEL?
Certainly. A simple request.
Thank you.
Also, leather workers' tools are only 5 gold.
Oh, well, I suppose I'm wrong because I'm dumb. There are 25 gold in this town because everything's inflated.
Damn these
Yeah.
rich people! Damn these rich people!
Everything's inflated in this town. But yeah, that's
Put fancy gold plating on the leatherworking tools.
Yeah.
For like no reason.
But that's the only set they sell.
Exactly.
But you are able to change the tools that you have into your leatherworking tools temporarily. They revert back to whatever it is they were before, and you can successfully do that in a even overnight because it's not going to take too long. So, because it's just about clasps and clamps and you know, something that you could do that's not going to require your full attention during the night since you don't sleep.
Yep.
Especially if you're sleeping in shelter. You don't need to really stand watch. You can just occupy your time with something mundane.
I just have so much time.
But anything else you're doing while you're up in this particular district?
There is one more thing I wanted to check, which was alchemist's supplies.
Which would still be a tool you could do with right tool.
Is it? Oh my god. Ooh. Ooh.
I think you just made
Right tool is
friends
pretty
with me.
powerful that way then.
Yeah, it is. So this means alright, so I make Darius's cool little satchel for his crossbow. Also I would need what is it? Like I still have those poisonous mushrooms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could I also spend some amount of my time within the night sort of alchemizing those into a poison?
You can do one or the other. Both are going to take roughly 8 hours.
Okay, I will focus on the satchel first.
Okay. But that's your plan for the night.
On the topic of buying things, though,
Okay.
I would like to get calligrapher supplies for
For strings? Okay.
for strings. The listed cost is 10 gold.
So in this town there will be 15.
15. Can I haggle?
Make me a persuasion check.
That is going to be 27.
Fuck. That beats my 3. Beats my 3 to
That was a
resist.
19 on the die.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a shop owner that you've bought mundane things from in the past. They're very familiar with you. They do they do understand the kind of situation that you're in. So they are going to reduce that back down to the listed price in the book.
Alright.
You know what? Vanya's gonna go ahead and get that for him.
Mm.
You said that was 10 gold?
Yep. You now have a set of calligrapher's tools.
Thank you.
All right. So you all are heading back to the to Belle's place. All right. Lagan, you have had a short rest. But it's a little restless. The 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 fact that you had to deal with undead today has kind of unnerved you a little bit. Unnerved you in such a way that you kind of toss and turn a little bit. You don't really get any new sort of bad dreams or anything like that, but it makes getting comfortable a little hard to do. And so while the party's been out for a little while now, you get your short rest in, and before you kind of overhear that there are doors kind of shutting and people talking in the other room as the rest of the party arrives to this to this place again.
Lagan would be heading to the closest cemetery, if I remember the layout.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of right across the street, little catty corner to Bell's place.
A little bit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when Lagan wakes up, he's heading across the street to the cemetery.
Okay. Kind of just going straight there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once he gets there, he's going to look for any signs of disturbance from the graves.
You do,
and,
yeah, you do see that some of the graves have been have signs of disturbance. That that a couple of the corpses that came out were from this graveyard.
At this point, it's probably slim to none that he's going to get anything from it, but he's going to begin ritually casting Detect Magic.
Okay. So that takes about 10 minutes, and when that 10 minutes is up, you can feel the faintest hints of necromancy left. That the initial event that happened is long past, but there's like these almost like little stray hairs of necromantic energy that you feel kind of in the area. It's not even that you necessarily see it, because normally what you would with Detect Magic, you would be able to see the sort of auras. It's not necessarily that you see them much. You kind of scan around the whole of the graveyard and just feel those little hairs, and that just kind of that's what you feel with the Detect Magic. And none of the objects that are kind of in this space kind of exude that really much. It's just the graves that you feel this energy from. The holes and pockmarks in the graveyard that you that have this sort of residual energy.
Okay. Are any of the animated corpses still around?
A lot of that has already been cleaned up, as far as like corpses and the recently dead, as far as the actual battle itself, and of course you kind of get the sense that was what Father Masterson's people were doing in the wake of this, and so they were cleaning up, the remains of the corpses, the zombies and skeletons. They were cleaning up the recently dead, and so all of that's been taken care of already.
Okay. Okay.
Even any blood stains are kind of already cleaned up.
Okay. Oh. Do that. So, he's just gonna sit in quiet thought and prayer to Laura
Mm-hmm.
about the events that have been going on, the recent findings that they had in the mine with Dradith,
Mm-hmm.
and pondering the possibility of whether or not that's connected to whatever this is that's bringing this back. Is it possible these two things are connected?
Okay. Are you casting a specific spell for this, or are you just kind of putting out feelers?
He's just putting out feelers. He's not actually trying to cast a spell with this because I don't have
No.
commune yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of what he's been doing in reaching out in
Mm-hmm.
his talks to with and to Melora,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get an idea or sense, if she can, that communicate with him in any way, that whether he's on the right track, whether he's getting hot or cold.
Okay. Then make me a religion check.
Alrighty. I'm pretty good at those usually. Religion. Alright. Ooh. 19.
19. You, much like any other kind of ordinary prayer that you make, you kind of kind of reach out and let your mind kind of wander as you kind of think about the events that have happened over the last few, that that when your mind kind of settles on this graveyard and what's happened here, you your eyes kind of look around and you do see that there are some gravestones here that actually do have some significance. One of which is Moradin, with his very sort of powerful stance with the hammer. But one of the smaller ones that you see is just this kind of simple figure of an angel. And when you kind of look at it, it's almost like you get a sense of where you were kind of looking for that hot or cold sort of indication. When you look at that angel, you get that hot sort of sense. That potentially, with that want for if I'm hot or cold on the right track, that's the right track.
Okay. At this point, Lagan would be heading back to Belle's place.
And that's about the time that the rest of your friends would also arrive too.
Oh, good, he's already awake.
Yes. Where have you been?
We went to Richtown. And then talked to a captain, and then talked to Vanya's ex-boyfriend, and then came back.
They let you in.
Well, I had to bribe them, but I told on them, so. They'll learn.
Doubtful, but
He's not an ex-boyfriend, Strings. He was my teacher.
boyfriend.
Teacher. God. Teacher.
It says it in
That's
exactly Vanya's voice.
And she's just standing there kind of shaking her head.
And Lagan, air quotes, teacher?
Don't you get started.
Brune stops the conversation and changes topics immediately.
No,
The introduction.
he's seriously interested. You met someone. He doesn't care how it comes across or who is this?
His name is Karthus. He's a tiefling that taught me what I know about beast hunting. Back when I was younger back home.
Is that why you've been eyeing Darius lately?
He's going to make the same motion as Zephyr, and he's going to do it to Lagan. This
And-
time there's no tail.
And you get nipped in the butt cheek.
Lightly swat him on the nose.
He makes a kind of not like he's in pain, but one of those noises that dogs make when they've been called out. And
Well,
Bob,
it's surprised
Snarled
the elk.
sneezing.
yep, little surprised, but nothing hurt.
And then he will kneel down and lightly tussle and wrestle with him for just a few minutes.
He kind of jumps up on you, Lagan, a little bit, and kind of gets up close to attempt to lick your face.
Lagan will not stop him from licking his face.
And so he kind of he licks your face. He kind of wrestles around with you, kind of pulling at your clothes and your armor a little bit. But nothing to cause any problems.
Good boy.
Sending
be sweet.
mixed messages to
I
this
be
dog
sweet.
already.
You be sweet.
Poor dog.
I be sweet.
Oh, he
And
is
that's
sweet.
exactly what he says.
He is sweet. He's a good boy and follows every command I give him.
As he should. Just know that I will discipline him if he does such again. Without cause.
Oh, I did kind of tell him to.
You did.
Oh.
So I should be disciplining you and not him.
Exactly.
But I'd rather do that to him because if I do that to you, then I get to fight him for real.
Maybe. Depends on how he takes it, but
He kind of circles around your legs a little bit, Vanya, as he comes back.
she's gonna kneel down and just start scratching his chin and whatnot.
Oh, and he's loving it.
So other than being guided around Ridgetown by Strings here, what have y'all been up to today?
Investigating.
Anything fruit yet?
We have the cooperation of Captain Julian here in the city. He'll be
Also-
assisting us with, as far as the guard is concerned, discerning any sort of suspicious figures or origin of this necromantic power that was suggested. I have a couple different locations that we can investigate, including several of the graveyards, the death pits outside the slums, as well as Bard's College in the inner city.
Interesting. We should keep in mind that whomever or whatever this is may be somehow tied to Thradith and those goings on.
Wouldn't doubt it.
I've already begun my own investigations into these things. And yes, it is definitely necromancy.
Oh,
At this point, whatever we might find would be faint at best.
yes.
The longer these things go, the less the residues are left behind. How many people know that this is what we are doing? Outside of ourselves.
I perceived cooperation with Father Matthews. And Captain Julian as well.
Okay.
But as of now, those are the only two who are understanding of this circumstance. Father Matthias has also offered us shelter to his church. He's preparing barracks for the night as we speak.
I would say we keep that to just ourselves and those for now. The more that know, the more likely we are to make targets on ourselves.
Others I've heard. The only other person I've informed of the location is Vanya's friend, Carthus. I've informed him specifically of Bell's Tavern.
Should be meeting him sometime tonight.
How well do you know this man and trust this man? I know you said he was a teacher.
Taught me for a few years. I'm quite well. Interesting.
Okay. How well do you trust this man?
Is that to me or
Yes, that's to Vanya.
trust him completely? Aside from teaching me, he also saved my ass quite a few times. In fact, how we met.
How long has it been since you've seen?
How long has it been?
Probably close to 50 years.
Yeah, about 50 years, give or take.
He has offered us a job.
That is all well and good. Just keep in mind a lot can happen and a lot can change in 50 years.
I'm quite aware of that. Trust me.
I am trusting your judgment for the moment on this, but I am still reserving judgment.
Well, good thing, because you are meeting him tonight. Kind of issued a challenge between you two.
I
See who can drink who under the table.
Interesting. Will you be paying for this endeavor?
I'll pay for it.
Good.
Be quite entertaining to see who wins this.
Strings just goes off to tell his mom that there's going to be a drinking contest later today. Be prepared.
Drinking contest. Do I have enough wine? And she goes looking through the stores and realize she's only got a couple bottles of wine left.
I can do another market run.
Vanya's gonna call Strings over.
Yes.
And give him 25 gold. If that's not enough, let me know. I still have a little bit extra.
Mama, I'm gonna go to the market and get more booze.
Be safe. please.
Will do.
Any other new or exciting things happen while y'all were away?
Just a job offer and finding out information. Other than that, not really.
Lagan looks at you. That's a new satchel. Where'd you get it?
Karthus handed it to us. It's for the job. You can apparently put anything into it, including 5 to 6 stand dog hides.
Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Would Lagan know of these things?
Make an Arcana check.
He vaguely seems to remember Captain Badger having one. Arcana, you say?
Mm-hmm.
17.
You're fairly certain that they're this is sort of a recent invention
Mhm.
where they're bigger on the inside and
Right.
they're sometimes called bags of holding, sometimes called haversacks. It just depends on the region that you're from, and depending on the size of the bag, how much it can hold.
Yes. May I?
Of course. This one can also apparently keep raw meat cool for a while. It's relatively cold in there.
Ah. Lagan vaguely remembers Captain Badger telling him a way to find out what's in one of these things without knowing what's in it. And Lagan's going to take the bag up to the room
Mm-hmm.
so that there's nobody other than themselves, potentially no other prying eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to open the bag and hold the lip, and then take his hand and grab the bottom of the bag and shove it through the opening, basically turning it inside out.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else inside?
No.
Wait, you turned it inside out?
Yes. His hand is on the lip of the bag with his other hand grabbing the bottom and shoving it through the opening.
Yep. You turn it inside out in the safe way that you do, and nothing else comes out.
And then he pulls it right back to how it should be. How big is the opening on the top of this haversack?
It's about 12 inches.
How big are these? What did you call them?
Sand dogs is what he called them.
Sand dogs. How big are these sand dogs supposed to be? How wide?
More than 12 inches, I believe.
Bigger than a bread box.
How wide is Darius at the shoulders?
An average person, average 6 foot tall person.
So wider than 12 inches.
Yeah.
Lagan is going to take the bag and see if it will stretch over Darius's head and shoulders.
Rune grabs his arm and stops him.
I might not want to do that.
It doesn't have air. We've been informed putting living people in there is dangerous. I'd advise
Yes.
against it.
It is. Because if you forget to open it, they run out of air. But you said this one was cold, right?
And when you kind of
That tends to preserve them.
and when you kind of pull your fingers back out from the lip of the opening, your fingers are a little cold.
Mm. I haven't felt this since I left home. Interesting. Perhaps it's more to do with not so much lack of air as how cold it gets inside.
Well, he
Most,
said not all of them are this cold inside, but this one is.
yes, this is a newer construct than I am familiar with. Traditionally, if I understood Captain Badger correctly, if you put somebody inside, they can survive. But you have to remember to open it every 10 minutes to refresh their air supply. But you have to be wary for escaping as well.
Well, what if you just poke some holes in it?
Then it loses what its magic is that helps contain and make this space bigger on the inside than on the out. It's like taking the boat across the water and then punching holes in it. It negates the purpose of being there to get you there safely. That would negate the purpose of containing these things inside. I've also been told not to put other things such as this inside one of these things. It's a very nasty, nasty proposition. I don't know exactly what happens, but I'd rather not find out.
Given that warning, I'd rather not either.
So, question. Do we still have Clip and Clop? Or do we just have the packs that they were carrying?
You just
I
have their
think
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I think we sent them off because we haven't been boarding them or anything.
Yeah.
Ah. Well, Lagan will take the packs and start transferring to the smaller packs on the outside of the haversack some of the things contained within the packs that we were using Clip and Clop to carry them.
All right.
Yes. Ooh. Lagan will also take his spear out just to see how deep it is and stick his spear into the pack.
It takes the full length of it.
That's good to know. Is there anything in the room approximately as wide or as rigid as these sand dogs would be? Not a body?
Uh, as far as the sand dog's size is concerned, you've been told that they're pretty big, but you weren't given specifics.
Right.
So, who knows how large they could be? And the description that was given was that their hides are very much like carapaces.
Right. It makes some good materials for fashion. Equipment such as armor or shields. Possibly even magic. I don't know.
Well, he's offering 100 gold per hide. Oh. He says that thing can hold about 5 or 6 of them.
eyes. I'm not very familiar with these things. Lagan has an idea. He wants to see if this thing will hold his shield without ripping the opening.
Okay. So you, so since it's a kind of a fairly large sort of round shield,
Yeah.
you, you go to, put the shield in through the opening.
Very carefully,
Mm-hmm.
not trying to force it.
It stretches to a very tight fit, but does ultimately take it in.
I see.
So there is some stretch, but not a lot.
Okay. He wants to. He will remove the shield, thinking solely of the shield to remove from this,
Hmm.
and then remove the spear again.
Okay.
Okay, so this will stretch a bit. I wouldn't suggest sticking anything wider than my shield in this thing. While I could repair the bag, I can do nothing to restore any of the magics that make this thing.
Well, if he says 5 or 6 can fit in it, there's got to be a good way of getting them in there. So.
Well, you just watch Lagan shove
Yeah.
his shield into it, so
Yeah.
you know that it will stretch, but anything wider than this is potentially destroying again.
Mm-hmm.
Much like putting holes in the bag, the properties that make this thing what it is and do what it does.
And with this,
I can repair the bag, but then we'd have to find somebody else to enchant this again, and that I understand is very expensive.
and with as much
Given some
fiddling
time.
as you've done with it, you do also see that there's a maker's mark kind of stamped in the underside of the flap for the main opening,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah.
is a Paragon Arcane Power Supply sigil.
Okay.
Given enough time to study it, I'm sure I could recreate the product.
Would be interesting.
You could recreate the enchantments to make this.
Yes. It shouldn't be hard.
My understanding is it's a very costly, time-consuming process. Not that it is hard per se, but that it takes a long time to do such things.
I've been configuring the formulas for something similar for some time now. The time has already been put in.
Now you have one directly you can study.
So when Lagan was transferred, some of the things that included would have been the platinum that we had in the bags.
Mm-hmm.
Lagan's going to take 3 platinum so that he's not broke.
Mm-hmm.
In case they ever do get back up to Rich City and have a chance to join the Silver Ring.
Mm-hmm. All right. Before too long, Strings, you're able to get back to your mom's place, and you have a full barrel of very strong wine that you have now kind of wheeling with a cart because it's often the case that you bring like barrels of this kind of thing, especially if your mom's looking to service a lot of drinks, and so you bring this barrel to the back of the house or the back of the place, and and kind of let your mom know that you have secured a barrel of a very strong wine, which cost for the full barrel cost 10 gold.
Well, I was given 25. I probably would have bought 2.
All right, then you carded back 2.
And then I give my mama the change.
All right, 2 barrels of probably crude but effective wine, and that is what she has on tap now.
At this point, is there still anything left from the lunch that Father Masterson had prepared?
Yeah, everyone was able to get their lunch if they wanted.
Okay. Lagan is going to eat at this point because he's fairly ravenous.
Mm-mm. And he's a big man, so he eats a lot.
Yes.
So Lagan's having
has...
lunch. All right. Well, I think that's a great place to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll see what else our Lucky Sevens get up to. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We will be back soon. Welcome back, everyone, to Rebirth, a D&D tale. Last that we left off, our Lucky Sevens were getting back to the tavern to relax a little bit after such a long day, having dealt with some undead earlier in the afternoon. Lagan having gotten in, a short nap. The rest of the party went on a little bit of a shopping run in the sort of middle district of the town, and Vanya ran into an old friend whom she had never expected to see out this far. Everyone was brought in, and it was announced upon everybody's return to Belle's place that there would be a significant drinking contest. So, Strings, being the good boy that he is, went to go out and get a couple of barrels of probably terrible tasting but very strong wine to facilitate this sort of drinking contest. Maybe even to have some for other patrons later on in the evening, as it hasn't really opened for drinks as of yet. But the Lucky Sevens are present. The evening, it's really early in the evening, probably about 4 in the afternoon. The time to open everything up is getting very close, and it's not too long after you all have, done a little bit of settling in, kind of making sure that everything with this new satchel is investigated, because what a wonderful thing it is. The night starts to really open up. A couple of other patrons have joined at Belle's place, and she's served them some drinks. And the uh, the notable one that you do see come into the place at this time would be Carthus, the sort of grayish tiefling with a broken horn and white hair, his sort of spade tail kind of swishing back and forth behind him. The his clothing is rather sort of plain, but he has the sort of common implements like weapons that a ranger, a trapper would have in his possession. He has a bow on his back, a couple of swords on his belt, and is and kind of just comes in, and with him is a sort of stout woman with a little bit of facial hair kind of protruding from her chin, with long flowing sort of reddish hair. Good evening, she says in a very strange sort of accent. And Carthus and this woman start to walk up to you all.
Oh, there you are, Carthus.
I figured that my friend here, Jalissa, would actually be up to the challenge for this little drinking contest. I'm a little more of a lightweight these nights or days.
You disappoint me, Carthus.
I'm sorry.
Ah, well, should be entertaining anyway. And she's going to kind of call Lagan over to introduce him.
And the gun will walk over.
Carthus, this is Lagan. Lagan, it's Carthus, my old teacher.
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. So when do we get to drinking?
Soon as you say the word. This sort of stout woman says.
Carthus had to bring a stand-in. Not as heavy as the drinkers he used to be, apparently.
You gotta be careful with it. It does take its toll.
Well, I'm up for it. Question is, are you?
Oh, I am indeed.
All right. So what is on the top? She says, kind of leaning over, kind of uh just kind of getting everything settled in that way.
You know, I'm not exactly sure what Strings got.
I'm sure it won't be what we drank the other night.
Probably. All I know is I gave him some gold and he came back with a couple barrels, so...
Dubious quality at best.
Dubious quality is, well, it'll have to do.
Strings pipes up from behind the counter. It's strong. I don't know if it's gonna taste that good, but it's strong.
Well, I like it strong better than I like the taste of it, don't I? Carthus, she says, over and kind of looking over at Carthus a little bit, kind of kind of moving a strand of hair out of her face, and you see that she's dressed in very similar garb, where she's wearing leather armor. She's got a crossbow on her back. She's got the known case of bolts. She's got a couple of daggers on her as well, and definitely looks like the everything that she's wearing is put in a lot of work when it comes to that. Now, are you going first?
What do you mean going first? I thought we were going together.
I thought it was going to be you, me, you, me.
It doesn't matter. However you want to get down on this.
Doesn't matter much to me, love. You're a big strapping man. I bet I can drink you under the table. How much you willing to wager?
Lagan looks around. Anybody on this?
You know what? How many? Put 6 gold on Lagan.
Any other tigers?
Lagan will take one of the platinum pieces that he took from the group stash and lay it on the table.
Oh, what are you saying? These rich folk you weren't kidding, Carthus? And Carthus kind of looks over to her and says, wasn't kidding. Then what are they doing in a dump like this, then?
We prefer places like this. It's
Well,
nicer.
This dump, as you so eloquently put it, are the first folk that showed us any kindness in this city.
You know, I can relate to that.
And we like to take care of those who take care of us, so...
Bryn looks over to... Cool. Alright, I thought I was muted. Bryn looks to Lagan. I'll be interested to see where your limit is. And he puts down a platinum piece as well.
No, I'd be interested in that as well. I don't think I've ever found it.
Oh, this would be entertaining.
I'm gold on Lagan.
Well, looks like the odds are ever in your favor.
Strings walks over and sets a gold coin next to the dwarf lady. I like to bet on underdogs.
Much appreciated, darling.
Surprised, Carthus ain't betting on this.
Lagan is going to even his bet and put one on the dwarf lady. One of the platinum pieces.
Okay. And Carthus pulls out a couple of gold coins from his pocket and sets them in the pile for Jalissa. I swear I'm going to figure out this accent before too long. Because she's supposed to be a Lartswood. But my accent is all over the place, my bad. But she kind of looks at you with the sort of playful eyes, Lagan. Well, I think that's everyone. And so the way that this is going to work, Lagan, is the first one, because we're going to do flat D20 rolls.
Okay.
The first one to fail, which would be, this is more of a higher low.
Okay.
So 10 and under is a fail. 11 and above is on a d20 is a pass.
Okay.
First to 3 fails loses.
Okay.
All right.
You said straight D20s?
Straight d20.
All right.
Yep. No modifiers of any kind because there's no way to really know.
17.
Ooh. She got a 3 on her first one. She's feeling it really hard on the.
Oh,
So the both of you taking turns slap back a sort of very full cup of this wine. It is gross. It's bordering on undrinkable. But the nice thing about it is it does have that sort of strong, and you start to feel it a little bit. But being that you are of a much taller frame, it may be that you are successfully able to use that to your advantage at the moment. Turn number 2. All right, 17, so you both pass. That's 1 fail on her and none on you so far. Round 3.
I think my shoe leather would taste better. Natural 20.
Ooh, nice. All right, round 4. She's starting to feel a little loopy, but so are you. You're starting to get the drinks going down from turn to turn. Ooh, fail.
14.
Man, Lagan. One more fail and she's donezo.
I'm gonna switch dice right now. just so there's an even chance that this one will fail. Yep.
Okay.
8.
Fail. You really start to feel it in the moment. You're feeling a little woozy. It's starting to hit you pretty hard. But shortly after you kind of settle yourself a little bit, she just kind of closes her eyes, kind of wobbles back and forth, and before you know it, she's toppling ass over tea kettle over the back of the bench.
You all right there, darling?
Oh, you win. Oh, you win. That's the first time anyone's ever won against me.
Well,
You can see that she's struggling to even get back up on her hands and knees.
Lagan will do his best to drunkenly pick her back up.
Your legs are wobbly.
Help her
They're
up.
like noodles.
Mm.
You're barely standing yourself.
Yeah, I'm aware.
We're just gonna have two drunken people just constantly falling over trying to help each other up.
All right. Well, the bets that were made on her are forfeit to the rest of you, which is a total of 5 gold.
There was a platinum that I put down on
Yeah.
her.
Lagan put a platinum
5
down
gold
there.
and a platinum. Yep, you get that back.
Okay.
Well,
How are you in a fight?
In a fight.
Yeah.
I can barely lift my legs.
I'm not asking right now. I'm looking to get into the silver ring.
Silver ring. Oh, it's fun. Oh,
So I'm told.
I bet you're a mighty fine in the ring. You're looking pretty good there, handsome.
You're not so bad yourself. I'm sure on another day you'd hold your liquor better.
Today is just an off day.
Did you eat anything today?
Did just spike my liquor.
Never. As far as spiking liquor, you'd have to ask Strings over there.
No, I made the drinks the same. Also, I bet on her. Why would I spike your drink?
Captain Badger says I have a hollow leg.
You must.
She hadn't lost any on me drinking anyhow. But she's the one that taught me to bet on the other one, because you never know. Sometimes you can get your ass whooped. It always pans out if you play both sides.
Well, I play plenty of sides.
I bet you do.
She's kind of getting up at this point. She looks like she's over at least most of the terrible wobbly legs at the moment. She's getting back up into the seat.
Lagan will have one more drink, but he's not going to slam this one.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to order some food.
And she's gonna order some food too. She's
Make sure you get some good protein. That'll help slow the absorption, I'm told.
Same with breads.
Too many carbohydrates has a tendency to make the alcohol effect kick in harder.
What, are you some kind of alchemist?
No, but I know a few.
Well, aren't you Mr. Smarty Pants?
Captain Badger would beg to differ.
Who's this Captain Badger? Somebody I should worry about?
My former captain.
Is she a good wife?
No. Closer to a mother.
She's definitely being very flirtatious with you right now, and you can tell on the front of her.
And Lagan says, why? Do you want the position?
You can put me in any position, love. And she's gonna get up from her seat and start walking away, probably towards the restroom.
Lagan is actually going to go and find a place to relieve himself as well. That much alcohol, that quickly.
Go straight through you. And she's of a shorter frame than you are.
Yeah. And he doesn't care which one he winds up in. He's not even paying attention.
Do you ultimately follow her where she's going?
Yes.
All right. In the meantime, the rest of you are free to do as you will. Lagan is currently occupied.
Rune, his eyes kind of adjust in the direction where Lacan walked off to, and then he turns his head away like, I am paying no mind. I did not.
At some point, Strings is pulled out his lyre and was strumming maybe a romantic tune.
At least to give some noise to this room, because who knows? But
Oh, that
String
was
starts
well
playing
worth
his
it.
lyre, and Darius is just kind of giggling to himself.
Carthus,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm interested in hearing a little bit about your history.
All right. What you want to know?
How did you and Vanya meet?
That was back in Hazelmire. Well, at least the outskirts of Hazelmire, where with with an increase in sort of, farm animals getting attacked from the recent farmers, it was important that anyone who was trained and skilled in trapping beasts would assist and kind of get rid of and reduce their numbers. And
And I
so,
was not at the time.
well, she wasn't very skilled, but she volunteered and
It
got it.
wasn't that I volunteered for. I keep telling you this. I went out there to clear out the pathways in the woods. I just happened to get cornered. I think I was out there volunteering.
Right. That's right. You're clearing up some of the pathways, kind of out into the forest. I remember that now. Well, that with her getting cornered by pack of a pack of a mother owl bear and her cubs, the the right thing to do was to step in. So I did, and that's how I saved Vanya from a rather gruesome and claw-filled death. Quelled the mother and chased off the cubs.
Whereas all I was doing was more or less swinging a big stick at it. Just trying to get it away. And else I could have done. It,
Sounds
walk away with a bit of souvenir from it. She's gonna roll up her pants leg a little bit to show part of a scar on her ankle.
Yeah, you were knocked off your feet for a good couple of months.
Yeah, you should have heard my mother lay into me. You brought me home that night.
Yeah, it's a feisty woman.
She is. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for Dad holding her back, she would have beat me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Whatever she could get her hands on, at least.
Again, feisty woman. How is your mom when you saw her last?
She was doing pretty good. She's still doing those music lessons at the shop.
She always did have a very good voice.
Yeah, she tried to teach me, but I'm more inclined to the instruments than I am the singing.
Yeah, and the little bit that I've heard, you actually hold your own pretty well.
As well as she can. She's got quite a voice on her.
Yeah. I miss her tunes. And your father was always really great with the guitar.
Yeah, he still is.
How is Kivson?
And well, last I heard from them. Stayed in the city for a little while, a few months back before I met these guys, and was able to hear back from him, finally.
Oh, so you
Doing
did
well,
stop through
shop.
Colcaster.
Oh, of course. But, friend there and started traveling with her for a little bit, and she recently had to leave us.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's fine. She's going to take the time back home and push through a couple things for us and reach out if she can.
Well, that's good. You know, having a wide range of friends from all over the world is kind of a strange feeling.
It is. It really is.
Something perhaps you were acquainted with as a guild member.
Oh, well, yeah. Jalissa I met, traveling too. She's also a Spitfire. And usually can hold her liquor really well. You must have got some strong shit there, Strings.
My hair drinking contest, I got strong. Plus, it was cheap. So.
Cheap booze. That is exactly what this is. He says, kind of swirling the one that he has been somewhat sipping on, but hasn't really drank much of it.
Well, I wanted to save some for Mama's sign.
Nothing wrong with that.
Question.
Yes.
Does anybody tell him what Lagan was drinking last night?
No one has yet. Oh, I suppose that's what happens when you are up against someone who drank 2 graveyards in a row.
If I'd have known that, she's outmatched. Damn.
Technically, he drank 3. So.
What is it with
Now you know.
Giantkin?
Now you know why we all bet on him.
I'm starting to believe what he said about Giantkin and hollow legs.
Yeah. Him too. I could barely get through my single one last night.
Yeah, that's nothing to sniff at. I will be right back, everyone. I have something to pick up really quick. Sorry about that, everyone. We are back with our group at Bell's Little Tavern place. Lagan having drank a dwarf woman under the table, and
Into the sheets.
into the sheets. Yes. But that leaves the rest of our party at the table with Karthus to ask him questions and things of that sort. So, continue.
It's interesting. You said you were part of a monster hunters guild.
Yes, currently I am.
What is that like? What is it about?
Well, primarily we hunt monsters, that causing troubles, or conscript others to do the same. So, as
See,
if you want to become part of the guild, have to prove yourself and your worth, and if that's something that you all want to do, then, that's something we'll look into.
Might be something of interest for us to notate later. For now, we are currently in the middle of something of a project, as
Oh,
well as the work that you already provided us.
And we've
Have you heard
decided
of...
to look into the undead situation.
oh yeah, that happened earlier today, didn't it?
Yeah, we got caught in the middle of it.
Yikes.
You have experience with such creatures?
It's rare. It's not something that it's not something that I have very often engaged in dealing with. It's not something that comes up very often, but it's more of an issue here than it ever was in Mesotopia when I was there. I'm from Islandia, so... And of course the Grioran Empire didn't have this problem either.
Oh, it's the first I've heard of such a problem. Aside from, what you've told me.
Often clerics can soothe the restless dead when it comes to like ghosts and wisps and other such apparitions, but I don't know. Walking corpses, that's new. That's fairly new to me when it comes to that. And I've been in the city for 30 years.
Let's see. Of the end,
It's only just gotten worse.
of such beings such as ghosts and wisps. Do you have any experience with those? Do you have any tips?
Well, for all intents and purposes, they're very hardy creatures. The thing that you want really is some kind of religious figure, because they can either chase them off or, in some cases, if they're strong enough, destroy them. Send them off to the paradise.
Let's see.
That's a good thing we've got Lagan then.
Yeah, like people like Father Masterson and others can chase them off pretty well, and if they're chased off often enough, they'll leave alone. But actually sending them off is a little bit tougher.
Yeah, we had quite a bit of trouble fighting them this morning.
Yeah, they're pretty tough. But did you have any other questions, Rude?
No. That would happen to be everything I needed. I appreciate your time, Arthas.
I'm just here to have a good time, so.
Bryn just nods slowly.
Feel free to do whatever it is that you want to do, because I'm not bothered if you want to get up and do something else.
Well,
Your friend Lagan has decided to get up and do something else.
I assume he'll be taking the night here. I will go
Probably.
make sure that preparations are made elsewhere.
Alright, let me know if you need anything, Rune.
Will do. Meet
And-
me at Father Masterson's when you're available.
Well,
And Darius will follow you out, Rune. Which leaves Kinwin and Vanya.
Vanya's probably just gonna sit there and catch up with Karthus for a little bit,
Mm.
trading tales back and forth over the last 50 years.
All right. Doing anything specific, Kinwin, or no?
Turn on the bed.
All right. So you'll follow Rune and Darius, and eventually Vanya will head over in that direction too, to go and get the set up for the evening at the church where Father Masterson resides. And I think in that case, we're going to go ahead and call that the session for tonight. As the party gets their long rest, gets their questions answered, fun had, and can be ready to start the day anew next time. Woo!
Ooh,
Thanks everybody
Sure
for
you
playing.
about that long rest.
Lagon will ultimately get his long rest. Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did anybody tell him about the setup with staying with Father Masterson?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
What I figured. That's what I figured.
Oops.
By the way, what was her name?
Jalissa.
Jalissa.
You already forgot.
No, I really did not hear it. I wanted
Yep.
to make sure.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I am the worst when it comes up to names. So I think I had the names written down somewhere, and I completely forgot where I had them written down because I did not actually make sheets in the Roll20 until just now.
Yes.
Just call everyone "Hey you," and then you don't have to remember any names anymore.
Well, when you guys ask me for NPC names, I have to come up with something on the fly. So it's gonna be something random,
At least I gave you a name.
right? Right? You ask
I
a
gave
guard.
you a whole list of names.
Well, okay. To be fair, that's perfectly fine. But these NPCs are not in this particular scene. When you ask me what a
I'm
guard's
aware.
name is, I have to think on the fly. I don't intend for these people to ever have you come back to them.
You should just make it simple. Like, oh, what's this Arakroka military guard man's name? Bob. Bob the Bird? Yes, Bob the Bird.
No, I hate those. Those are the worst. I absolutely hate those
Holly.
kinds of things.
You could probably find random name generators.
I do have random name generators. I just didn't have it open in the moment.
That's
So I just
okay.
said the first thing that comes up in my head.
Yep.
Apparently, it's J names because Julian and Jalissa.
Hey,
It's a J kind of day.
It's a J kind of day. Yep. But that concludes our session for tonight. So we're going to move on to some experience for you all for the day. I think you're going to get your 5 for being at the table for because everyone was here. I think since it was a little bit more lackadaisical kind of session, you are going to get the one experience for the different goings on that you did today, as it was more of a shopping and kind of a tension relief sort of day, where the true investigation is going to go on next session. So that's 6 for a base, and then now that we have you all here, that we could talk about who had the best scene, who moved plot, if any, at all today, and who had our best line. So let's start with plot mover. Who did most moving today?
I want to vote myself.
which is valid.
Rune
You could always do that.
came in. He was the man with the plan.
Yeah, I think Rune did it.
That one.
I see Rune.
All right,
Thank
seems unanimous. Rune it is. Best scene.
Drinking.
Drinking.
With
I'm
Lagan.
gonna give that to
Drinking
Lagan.
with Lagan.
Drinking for Lagan. Okay, yep. Drinking for Lagan it is. Best line.
And I will say strings for best line.
Yes.
Metal Man is jealous over ex-boyfriend. That. God damn it.
Yeah.
I
That
would.
wasn't strings calling Rune out. That was Dark Wolf calling me out.
Right, right. That's a mood. Yep. Well, that's all of the experience. Oh, actually, we were gonna do an audience favorite. Where's my? I'm gonna have to do a short audience favorite poll because we didn't get that going. Me? What happened? Oh, because Dark Wolf was working on it. Okay, Black Wolf was working on it. Just put it for a short period of time because I don't want to do a whole like sitting here for 5 minutes not doing anything. Make it short and sweet. But yeah, how did you guys enjoy the session? It's a little bit more of a lazy one.
I had fun.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I also had fun. I like the interval of having down sessions like this where we're still progressing.
Yeah.
But it's like
A
there's
little
no
slower
stress.
pace. Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially because last time was a whew kind of session.
It was a we almost all fucking died kind of session.
We
Now,
nearly lost 3 party members.
no, you didn't, because none of you had actually made any death saving throws yet. So
Nearly.
A couple of us were down though.
you were downed, but you didn't make
Yes.
you didn't make any death saving throws. So you weren't on the verge of dying as of yet.
That's true. That's true.
But while we're kind of talking about that, actually the new Pokemon game actually releases tonight. So when we shut down for Rebirth, I'm gonna see about doing a short stream at around midnight Central. And so that I can eat something, and we can get the opening sequences and everything for Pokemon Violet, because that's the one that I bought, and get started on that. And I don't know if that's going to be a regular stream or not. It might turn into a Friday stream. I don't really know, because haven't decided if I'm going to use my main account or my alt account for that. So because
I didn't even know you had an alt account.
because I may want to streamline. I may want to put the stream on my alt account and do my main account and just kind of blitz through it. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. But I'm at least going to do the intro and get that the opening sequences. I've already decided on my starter. I'm going to be taking Sprigatito. And so
Weed cat.
Weed Cat.
Weed cat.
Yes.
How did we guess?
How did-
CoffeeCat chose the cat starter. What a thought.
Of
It's
course.
in the name. I do everything cat streamed or cat themed. So yeah, so we'll be doing a couple hours of that tonight as a celebration of the release, as well as maybe doing that in the future for other streams. I don't know. Maybe I'll add it to the stream schedule. I don't know if that's going to be a regular thing or not, but yeah, we shall see. If that's what you guys want to see, definitely go into my Discord and let me know that you want that's something that you would want to see, because I did ping everybody in the Discord asking if that was something that they wanted to check out.
Making a Nuzlocke.
I don't want to do a Nuzlocke. Oh my god. It was stressful just to keep up with the fact that I was doing a sword Nuzlocke, and that was just
Oh god.
no. I was not enjoying it at all. So I gave up. That was on my alt account. So But yeah. Yeah. So cool beans. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing later on after I've stuffed my face with some food. I think the poll is getting pretty close to closing. So it's yeah, Nuzlocke is not easy. No, that's for sure.
Oh.
People, vote.
Yep.
Give us
Yep.
votes.
Get some votes. We have it tied up right now. Give us an exclamation point vote and the character that you would like to vote for, because they have all been here today. So, but yeah, appreciate you guys coming and showing up for my stream. My players are great.
Always fun.
Yes.
I'm interested to see where this plot is going because anything involving themes of necromancy is like, for me, that's like
Yeah.
a D&D classic.
Yeah.
I just get a little too invested in those plot lines.
And so long as you guys are having fun, because that's really the most important part. Because, I don't want you guys to come away with this feeling like, oh, well, I really wasn't engaging and really didn't like that. If there's a way that I can improve it, I definitely want to.
I'm having a blast.
Lagon is definitely having a blast. He's spending the night with an Alartswin dwarf woman.
Yes.
Love it. Love to see it.
By the way, I just rolled a 19 on a Constitution, just in case you ever wanted to know.
Oh, I had no doubts. I had no
Whiskey dick
doubts. I had no doubts. None at all. All right. Looks like well, looks like the audience top favorite was a tie between Vanya and Lagon. High or low?
I'll go with
I'm gonna
whatever
go
he
low.
says.
I'm gonna go low.
Low?
Oh, it is.
Low it is. Low it is not.
Ooh.
Oh well.
Lost it.
Yep. This is what happens when you tie it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Fickle
Wow.
God loses
Wow.
paper.
Yep.
Yep. Well, that concludes Rebirth. I hope you all will join me later tonight for some Pokemon, and next week for more of the same when it comes to Vampire, comes to Rebirth, maybe more Pokemon. We'll see if that becomes a regular staple for the channel. But until then, hope you all have a great night. So say good night, everyone.
Night.
All right.
Good night.